Hello, everybody. Check out the mangoes growing on my tree here. It is mango season. Those are green. They're not exactly ready yet. I have some yellow ones here, and I got a bunch of fruit trees here. For me, my goal of growing fruit is to eat as healthy as possible. And eating as healthy as possible means I know where my food is coming from. And the whole point of eating as healthy as possible is to avoid disease, and for some of you, that might be to get rid of disease if you already have it. And then the other reason is, and the main reason is for me, is to promote longevity. So I hate the feeling of sickness, and I also have children, and I want to live a long, healthy life and spend as much time with them. And the quality of life we talk about is not just for me to feel good, but for me to be able to keep up with my children and feel good with them and just to have a great long life. And we all have different goals and ideas, but when it comes to health, longevity, and being as vibrant as possible, as long as possible, is an important thing for all of us. So I'm continuously to learn and discover and push the edge of all the things that are going to promote longevity for my life. And as I'm discovering these things, I'm going to promote them with you, so you can also get the benefits of my research and experiments. And somebody who was sick at 19 years old, who grew up being trained like most people to live an unhealthy lifestyle, create unhealthy habits, and live in an unhealthy way. Thankfully, I got sick at a young age, and I decided not to just continuously listen to the doctors. I did at first, but they weren't getting me better, and finding a better way, which was the way we were designed to be healthy and to live. Now, there's these two things I want to discuss right now with you. Is so important for you to understand. The first thing is, when we give our body what it was designed to have, it was created to rejuvenate itself on a daily basis, on a nightly basis. And the way it does that, or when it does that at least, it does that when we give it what it needs throughout the day, but when we're sleeping at nighttime, and I have some other videos about sleep, that's where the healing actually takes place. But it can only take place if we give it what it needs. And I'm going to talk about several of these things now, because more and more science is figuring this out. But remember, we were designed to be a self-healing machine. Now, my father is 83 years old, and thankfully he hasn't been diagnosed with any major illnesses up to this point. And he thinks he's done a good job because he's made it to 83 and he hasn't been diagnosed with many major illnesses up to this point. And I pray every day that he never gets diagnosed with a major disease or any disease. However, the reality is, as much as 83 years old in today's world is considered good to make it to that age and not being diagnosed with any diseases, the reality is 83 is not really that old. On today's standard it is, but still, because most people are getting diagnosed with disease in their 50s and 60s, and if they're so-called lucky, their 70s, to make it to 83, you're considered, wow, what's your secret to great health? For me, it's seeing people in their 90s and even beyond 90, and the centenarians. Those are the people that have made it beyond what's considered old age. The average person today, whether they're eating the junk food diet or anything, many of them make it to 80 without getting diagnosed without major diseases. But here's the thing, folks. Here's the thing. When you get up into that age, your mid to late 70s, your early 80s, that's when people get surprised. They're like, oh, they're feeling great. And then they wake up with something like stage 4 cancer. And they're like, I don't know how this happened. It happened because you've been having these unhealthy lifestyles for your whole life. And eventually it was bound to happen. And the body, as amazing as it was built, has lasted that long because it was made so amazingly, but it will catch up to you. So you can't just expect something overnight. You know, cancer doesn't start overnight. It's brewing in your body for many, many years. And then you realize you have it when it's in a later stage, because that's when it starts to like literally affect the way you feel. But we need to be on the cutting edge of these things and not just wait till we feel sick before we do something about it. It's like you could take the smaller example of a cold. You know, don't wait until you get a cold and you feel sick before you start doing things for it. If you do things to prevent getting a cold, maybe you won't get it at all, or you'll get it on a much lower scale than if you're just waiting to get it and then doing something about it. Well, it's the same thing with the later stages of disease. And I bring this up because my dad, who's in his early 80s, and everyone thinks, well, that's wonderful that he's made it so long without getting any major disease. Early 80s. My good friend, Dr. Fred Bishy, is 95 years old, and he's never gotten diagnosed with a major disease that most people don't live that long. And people that you do see living in their 90s, they're not doing too well. My friend Dr. Bishu, who's been focusing on diet for so long and longevity and having that focus in his mind for many, many years. So now we review all the way back to now, today's time, for us who are watching that are not in that age category. Now, even if you are in your 80s or your 70s, you can still change and it will make a difference. But if you're younger, if you're in your 60s, your 50s, and your 40s, or even in your 30s or your 20s, what you do now will affect your health in the future. And I'm going to tell you some things now that will change it. Remember, the body is a self-healing and a self-cleansing machine. So it'll self-heal if something is broke or wrong, but it's self-cleansing. And cleansing is the key, keeping things clean, keeping things flowing, keeping things moving along. Cleansing. Your body's a system of like pipes that need to be clean for everything that needs to get through to do its job. And when we're eating a toxic diet and living a toxic lifestyle, not letting our body do the cleansing, not doing the maintenance to keep it healthy and clean, those pipes get clogged up, and this is where the accidents start and the things begin, and this is where the things start to build up. Nobody gets clogged arteries overnight. It starts from over and over, continuously not cleansing or not letting the body cleanse. And the way we don't let the body cleanse is by eating consistently and never taking a break from our food, by not letting the body heal itself and giving enough sleep and rest, and by eating the things that we shouldn't be eating. So start incorporating into your life certain things that are going to help you or help your body cleanse on a daily basis. And one of those major things is something called, now the term is intermittent fasting. I say just don't overeat, but it's called intermittent fasting, meaning from your last meal of the day to your first meal of your day, the next day, have a big window where you're not eating anything, you're not snacking on anything, you're not drinking anything. So the earlier to the earliest, so that you stop eating early and you start eating not too early the next day, you're giving yourself a big window. And that's where your body's doing the healing and the cleansing and everything it needs to be doing. So today is referred to as intermittent fasting. And if you think the average person, if you ask them, when do you eat your last meal? Some people might even say 6 o'clock, but they're still having their snacks at 8, 9 o'clock at night. But in reality, if you're going to sleep at 10 o'clock and you're eating a last meal at, let's say, 7 o'clock, that's only giving your body 3 hours before you've went to sleep. And the things people are eating are often take much more longer to digest than 3 hours. And you're not giving your body the opportunity to cleanse the way it should. So eating your last meal earlier, going to sleep on a so-called empty stomach, will let your body do the cleansing it needs to do. So that's one thing. Eating a bigger window of the intermittent fasting. And that's something everyone can incorporate. And it's important to do it consistently, on a consistent basis. Not, oh, I do every day this day, but I'm having my cheat day or my cheat weekend. No, being consistent at that. Now, the other thing is when you're eating, not eating until you're full. when you're eating to before you're full. If you ever have that feeling where you're so full, you can't fit any more food in, but then you do because you eat with your eyes or something, you see dessert, or you just feel so bloated and heavy after eating, you've eaten till you were full where you can't eat no more. That's not the healthiest way to do it. The healthiest way to do it is to eat before you get that feeling of I'm completely full, I can't eat anymore. Maybe if you were measuring on a scale, maybe 80% full in all your meals. That would be a way to do it. And you can, over time, figure out what that amount is for you and your lifestyle, where you're at, that is going to give you enough of what you need to make it to your next meal without having the need to snack in between. But at the same time, not overeating in the meal you're currently eating. So don't eat until you're full. So the intermittent fasting, having that long window and not eating until you're full, that's another thing we want to focus on. And these two little simple things alone are going to help you prolong your life, and hopefully you won't start getting pains in your 60s or 70s or 80s, and hopefully you'll never be diagnosed with a major disease. When somebody says this person died from old age, you didn't die from old age at 80 years old. That's not old age. Tell me you died from old age in your hundreds or in your late 90s, not at 80 or 70 or 60. There's always a cause, and all of this is not assuming it's an accident or something. It's just what people are doing to their bodies and how they're living. So having that longer window between your meals, and also not eating until you're full in your meals, and of course the food you eat. Eating the fresh food that grows on trees and on vines, and getting them as close to nature as possible. That's in time and in the food chain of how far you're going to get it. Something you're growing yourself is much better than getting something from the supermarket, usually, depending on your growing methods. But, what you're eating has a big difference on all of this. And it's going to help you with the other things. If you're eating the more nutritious, homegrown food, or from a farmer's market or somewhere where you know it's being grown the correct way, and you're eating in its raw, ripe, fresh, organic state, chances are you're going to have less cleansing to do, and you're going to have more nutrients in your body, and you're going to be able to accomplish those other goals of eating less in your meals and eating less often, in terms of giving yourself a bigger time to eat. So, no matter how old you are that's watching right now, no matter what your age is, if you're in your 80s, 60s, 70s, 50s, 40s, I hope you're taking this serious. And I try to teach my own children who are in teenager years, what you do now will determine your health in the future. And it's not only what we do now, it's even estimated what our parents did when we were in the womb has an effect on the age of our life. So there's a lot of correcting that needs to be done, because this information just wasn't around back then, or our parents weren't getting it or listening to it. But what we ate as young children and teenagers ourselves, and I did not eat healthy as a teenager, young child at all. And my parents were letting me eat unhealthy because they didn't know better, and that means they were probably eating unhealthy. That means I got off to a bad start to begin with. But because for the last 30 years I've been eating on a healthier way, I believe I would definitely have prolonged my health for the future. So when I am 70 or 80, maybe the effects of eating unhealthy prior to that will affect me, but maybe that'll affect me in my 90s instead of my 60s. And it's what I'm starting to see now. My friends who did not get sick when they were younger and switched their diet and eating habits over the last 30 years are not doing that well now. It's starting to catch up with people. And when you're 40, 50 years old, maybe you start questioning the things you ate when you were 15 years old. So it's not complicated to figure this stuff out, folks. But remember, no matter where you are now, teenager or 50 or 60 years old, or even 80 years old, it's never too late to change. I know without a doubt, my dad, who's 83 years old now, If he started making some dietary changes, and it's much harder because he's been doing what he's been doing for so long, but I know if he starts making those changes now, it can definitely help any situation he might have coming on in the future. It can prolong it. It could also maybe avoid it, or at least make him have an easier time dealing with it. And it's never too late to start incorporating healthy habits into your lifestyle, that's your diet and other habits. But the longer you wait, the more self you put in the more you're putting yourself in a risk or danger zone. So let's try to avoid that. All right. I hope this will not just educate you, but also motivate you and inspire you to stop waiting. Don't think if you're younger, you have time, or I'll wait till I get sick before I change. And don't think if you're older, it's too late. You can always make the right changes, and I'm here to help. So thank you for watching, everybody. Put your comments and questions below, and also share your experiences, and that'll help others. Until then, have a great day, everybody, and a great world.
Age is wealth, good for your